like you had a job to do today, and you fulfilled that job pretty professionally and clinically. You must have been really pleased with the way the fellas went about it.
Yeah, we were in the end. I think the scoreboard tells the story about the contest. You know, they were pretty willing. Their stoppage work was, was impressive enough. They haven't had the best outcomes there throughout the course of the year, and our guys have been pretty good. So I thought they challenged us in that area. The differential in sort of inside 50s isn't that dramatic. There was a period of the game where they dominated territory. I think, they had 17 forward 50 stoppages, which is a lot. Good thing is we defended them pretty well. I think they only scored a point from all 17. So that's a good result. But, on an afternoon where it was important that we didn't underestimate their willingness and coming over as a group. When teams are travelling these days, they seem to come together pretty well and in a cohesive sort of vein. And so it's a promising day on a number of fronts. A number of our players, I think, who probably weren't at their best, but made solid contributions.
Was it just what you needed heading into the final series, which really starts next Sunday?
Well, it's a bit like last year. We had to beat the Giants to get in in Ballarat, and so this one's a bit different. It's against obviously Fremantle here at Marvel, and hopefully our supporter base, who have been amazing. All our members have just been, and the new ones, the new ones have signed on this year, have just been really committed. So hopefully we can get a parochial crowd to our game here next Sunday, sort of like the one we experience when we go to WA and play at Optus. For both clubs, it's a big day.
How much did you take out of, I know you obviously focused on this game, but I'm sure you sat down and watched on Friday night Brisbane and Freo. What did you take out of that performance that Brisbane did that you can implement against Freo?
Well, I think Brisbane do it better than anyone with their transition through the kicking game out of their back 50. And, it was noticeable that they had a high amount of uncontested marks in that first quarter over there. Now, you don't plan that as you one would, because you want to get your own territory, and you'd like to get the first set of clearance and you want to play it in your half. But ultimately, as you saw tonight, we've been reasonably good. I think we were number 1 or 2 on rebound from D50 to forward 50, and even in scoring we're pretty close to the best during the last sort of part of the year. So it's not something that we've really struggled at, but there were times even tonight or this afternoon where we took options that went to contests, longer options that put us under a significant amount of pressure. We've just got to make sure we make good decisions. But we play with the freedom, and we play with the lightness to make sure that our real strengths come out in our game. And it was a mixture tonight. Our stoppage strength wasn't really on show, but our offence and defensive elements were pretty good.
Do you think the fact that you've sort of almost been in this situation for roughly a month now, where you just have to keep winning, will that sort of be an advantage for you going into this game, because you've sort of been in this situation for a while now, haven't you?
Well, no one's fallen over, Ronnie. No one's done us any favours. So when you think about the teams that are playing teams below them, and maybe they drop their guard and drop a game, it just hasn't happened. It's been going on all year. So I think Sydney and Melbourne, the Saints in recent times have showed their capability. Essendon early in the season were looking threatening, but they've had so many injuries. So it's just been one of those seasons where, there hasn't been too many scalps out of that top echelon of the ladder. So we're as I've said, we've had a really honest year. We lost the handle on the game in the second quarter last time we played Fremantle. They scored quite freely in a sort of 10 or 12 minute patch. and that was the way some of our early form went against some of the teams who have ended up above us on the ladder. So we just got to make sure that we have a resolve and we play the minutes as intently as we can. A lot of respect for what they've been doing. So we look forward to the challenge.
How'd you see Jordan Croft's game today? Took some strong marks, fast scoring shots, and tell us about what led to his debut as well.
He did really well, didn't he? You know, 3 contested marks inside that 50 area. He competed well. He's different. He's a different key forward or back, you know, depending on. He's mostly a forward at the moment, but he can really run, and so he'll challenge the opposition on different fronts. So I think with his debut game and you know, Sam and Aaron as those sort of mainstay keys, they didn't have it their own way. I thought their key backs, including Ruben Jimby, were pretty dour. You know, their defensive application, you know, with the aerials was pretty strong. So for Jordan to sort of jump out, that was good. Oh, look, he's had a really good month, so he's earned his spot. You know, it's a form pick, and that's taken a little while. He's had some injury here and there. He got his match fitness up, so we're confident that he was ready for an AFL game, and planets aligned. He made his debut, and his family are really proud, pretty emotional about his first game. He really contributed.
You've been without Jamara obviously all season. Just wondering, and I know it's one game, right? He's a kick, but how much of a bonus could that be for you at the business end of the season? Just that, what a player like him with what he showed today, what he could provide you in the big moments.
Yeah, he could be. I mean, he's not he's still pretty slight.
Yeah.
And so in the craft aspect of a one-on-one that's sitting on the key forward and key back's head, against some of the stronger defenders, you know, there'll be Alex Pearce, maybe Brennan Cox next week, these sorts of guys. We wouldn't expect him to probably be able to match that just yet. It's only his second year. But you can kick it up in the air to him and to his advantage. And our small to mediums do a pretty good job, and they're selfless players. And Westy can get up there and take a bite here and there. But, when Sam or Aaron go off, it just allows you to keep their key backs pretty honest. So it's one game. On today's performance, you'd expect that he'd get picked for a second, and then beyond that, who knows? Promising though for us that he's been able to make his debut, and now that's the start of something for him.
Does Aaron owe him a beer for denying him a chance to go first kick, first goal club?
Was that first kick, first goal? Was it? There's a chance that was going to be touched. I think we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Yeah.
Obviously, with a lot of focus gets put on Aaron and Sam, and rightfully so, considering they've kicked 106 goals between them this year. But I think you had 7 multiple goal scorers today to show so many offensive threats. How promising is that, especially going into finals, hopefully where you do need multiple options?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I haven't counted them up, but and who kicked the singles and who kicked the points. But yeah, I think if you got 10 to a dozen goal kickers, it's a good sign. I don't know if we got there today, but yes, I mean Sam Davidson I think kicked 3, didn't he? And Westy might have, did he get to 3? I don't know. So yeah, it's encouraging, and spreading that load's really important. But it's got one game in this home and away season left over the long journey, and we'll freshen up and. We'll attack it with the gusto that's required, and do our best to give ourselves a look at a final series.
How's McNeil?
He's okay. He copped the knee in that that long kick from lobby into the middle of the ground, and he probably could have kept playing, but he had a cork out of the previous week that he got up for this game, but as soon as he was limping off, we just pulled the pin on his day, and we mobilised Riley Sanders after that, but he should be fine.
A lot of debate around the father-son, but how special is it for the Dogs when Sam Darcy handballs to Tom Liberatore, who kicks to Jordan Croft, who takes a soaring mark and kicks his first goal? That must have gladdened hearts in the kennel.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, you know, family in footy, it's something special. So, I mean, look, it doesn't matter what I say because people say, well,
Of course.
you know, you're going to say that because you've got these father-sons who've come through and they've either been great contributors, premiership players, but like I even sometimes I talk about St Bede's Mentone. You know, like they had in the say A section grand final was Luke, Michael, and Paul Wintle. There was Simon and Chris Richards. There was Andrew and Anthony Scafidi. Luke Terrell's brothers played in the lower grades. It was magnificent, you know, for a club that's local and family. Was quite unique, all St Bede's students. So for us, when you try and create that sort of family and spiritual culture, to actually have sons of previous players, it is something special. And when they make their debuts, it's I think our supporters, our people who love the club, are just reminisce a little bit or retrospectively sort of garner some thought around how their fathers played, and ultimately in the long run that'll happen with the girls as well, you know, and the father-daughter situation's happening in its infancy at the moment, you know, with Andy McKay's daughter obviously playing for Carlton. I don't know how many others there are, but I'm hoping that they protect it. I remember, I mean, it's only one game I think for the daughters at the moment. It used to be 40 way back when I started my playing career. Then it went to 50 games, and then it went to 100 games as qualifying for the father-son. So we have made it a little bit more difficult, and I think that's okay. But yeah, you'd hate to think that it's the concession is, or the leg up with taking a... Because I think also what happens is you've still got to make a call on it. You know, whether it's your NGA or your father-son. Like even if you take... We often get quite... we think about the equities in the competition around the Eastern Seaboard and the new generation academies and the academies through, say, Gold Coast, Brisbane, Sydney, GWS. But ultimately those clubs still need to make a decision on whether they take those players or they go to the other players in the draft order that their recruiters think are pretty good players. So it's not an easy thing when you're dealing with romance or being clinical. You know, like it's hard to tell a family whose sons are available under the rule that you're not going to take them. You know, so there's no doubt that sometimes there may be better rated players in the draft, in the academies and the father-sons, and that's something we need to remember as well. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for not bringing up the C section, Brad.